It's not just PayPal and eBay, but if you look at all the large Facebook and Google, they're seeing more and more revenue come from the mobile and for the mobile part of the business. If you look at the usage pattern, people are no longer using their desktop computers for accessing these services on the web. It's the pattern has gone towards usage, especially for PayPal, because the payments are now, you have the digital wallet concept where you can take the wallet and you can go to any location and any of the stores which participate are PayPal merchants. You can pay them using a mobile. So it is huge for us. For both eBay and PayPal, what we see SDN is a critical component of our larger effort that's going on, which is a software-defined data center. So SDN is not the end by itself, it's a means to our end, our end being the software-defined data center. So where we have today, with the frequency of changes, the code changes that we're doing, the configurations changes that we're doing and trying to push that thing to our production life side, sometimes the operational changes that are needed to push the code get in the way. So it's all about reducing the cycle time. So having a pliable network, which is software-defined, not needing people to go and manually configure the networking devices or move things or cable things, but it's all done in software, gives us a huge advantage. We can deploy our code to the production by rejiggering our infrastructure using software. Companies like us, PayPal and eBay, virtualization is not new. We've been doing virtualization of the compute for several years. In the past, when virtualization wasn't there, you had physical servers running the applications. That leaves a lot of stranded compute capacity in our data centers. Utilization of the servers was like close to 18 to 20%. Now with virtualization, you can run VMs and you can distribute them across your data centers, across your racks, based on where the capacity was available. And because it's virtual, you can move them, you can shed them, you can take snapshots, you can clone them. So all these features are all now software entities now. With physical devices, it's hard to do that. So for us, the compute virtualization has been going on for a while. The storage virtualization is happening, it's active, and now you got compute virtualization, storage, you need to tie it all together. And that's where the software-defined network, where virtualization of the network and the network functions is also actively taking place. And all of these things need to be tied together in an orchestration system, and that's what we do. I see there's a lot of talk, but there are very few use cases of people who have actually deployed. And I represent a company which is not a typical telco. We are like a IT company, and we have done this thing. So we are like one of the few unique cases where we have actually deployed it. So my feeling is, starting next year, you're going to see more and more operators, service providers who adopted network function virtualization, NFV, and SDN technologies and deployed it. And they'll get to, so I won't be the only use case. You'll hear more and more telcos and service providers coming up with their use cases. For companies like us, again, there is a lot of effort and time spent in reducing our power footprint. We build data centers in a very efficient manner. So one of the things that we do, when you virtualize, you're running 10, 15, 20 VMs in a single compute. So remember in the past I was saying when an industry numbers showed that the servers were being utilized between 18 to 20%. Now on the same server, instead of running 10 physical servers, I run one physical server and 10 VMs. So I've reduced the number of physical servers down. So virtualization does help in power savings that way. And also the design of the data centers is done in such a way that cooling and the way the airflow happens. And you also have today the computers, the servers are very smart. When the load goes down, they can turn some of the parts down so that they can reduce the power consumption. So there's this thing has been an ongoing effort, and this is especially in the IT systems, the large data centers. So there's a lot of effort and focus being placed on that. The highlight was I was sitting through the SDN and NFV sessions, and I feel that the carriers and the telcos are coming together, and they've come up with this NFV concept, which is very similar to this SDN concept that we've been advocating on the data center world. And I see that there is momentum now. In the last 5 or 6 months, perhaps there were like only 2 or 3 people talking about it. Now I see more and more. And I think it would be interesting to see how they evolve and how they go forward. And it wouldn't be too far for me to see, like in the next year or so, we'll see more use cases come out. And I think it will be a catch-up for a lot of these telcos and carriers with the data center world. They'll be catching up, but at some point, if there's some synergies between these two groups and have some cross-functional working groups or discussions so that they can learn from each other, that'll be great.